And welcome to another show with Mark Bishop. And this particular series, of course, nothing like a good book. And what I'm going to tell you about is nothing like a good book. Critically acclaimed and sci-fi series does it again. Kevin Schewe's new book packs thrilling early 20th century history with a romp through space and time. And we're talking about Russian spies, Nazi pilots, alien planets, and true love set the scene for a truly epic tale. I think you may remember when I interviewed him once before, Kevin Schewe has penned another action-packed romp in his critically acclaimed Bad Love series. That will have you wishing for more. Bad Love Medicine. It takes readers from the deep space beauty of planet Azure back to a World War II Europe riddled with danger and espionage, bringing the Bad Love gang face to face with one of history's greatest villains, Adolf Hitler himself. So, part history lesson, part sci-fi adventure. Schewe's engaging Bad Love gang, which is based on his own friends, of course, in high school, once again set out to save history, but this time by stopping the Nazis from creating a time machine of their own. Kevin, welcome, and it looks like you've done it again, mate.
Well, thanks, Mark. Bad Love Medicine, I'll tell you what, it's just a knockout. It's this is my fourth novel in 22 months.
I know.
So, I'm really excited about the Bad Love series, but Bad Love Medicine, it's got a little bit of something for everybody. So very, very excited to be visiting with you about Bad Love Medicine this morning.
Well, if history was taught this way in school, everyone would be a scholar and educating ourselves not only about our accomplishments, but the horrors of the past that should awaken and give insight to the path of a better future. It's a rare gem. Now, that was said by David Holliday, MD. 5 stars. That's a good one for you there, Kevin. Let's refresh, shall we? You mentioned the fourth book. Let's refresh the Bad Love books, folks. In Bad Love Strikes, the gang discovered the White Hole Project, a time machine created by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in case the atomic bomb failed. In the exciting sequel, Bad Love Tigers, the gang used the White Hole Project to travel back to 1945 to thwart the Russian spies and protect the secrets of Area 51. And in Bad Love Beyond, the gang traveled not just through time, but through space as well, to learn the reason behind Blue Nova, one's mysterious visit to Earth. And now, of course, as Kevin mentioned, Bad Love Medicine. The gang has a twofold mission: to reunite a love-struck couple while saving one of them from a future fate of cancer, separated by time, and stop the Nazis from creating a time machine of their own. Kevin, you continue to draw accolades for your screenplay based on the first book in the series, Bad Love Strikes. How's that going?
Well, Bad Love Strikes screenplay has now won 5 international awards. Perhaps the one that, I'm just totally proud of all of them, but one in particular, it won Best Screenplay at the Los Angeles Film Awards this year. And I actually am in discussions regarding the option for that screenplay. And I really believe, Mark, that the Bad Love book series is destined for the screen because it's, for the listeners, it's a combination of Teenage Goonies meets, Raiders of the Lost Ark, or Stand By Me meets Guardians of the Galaxy.
Fair enough.
We have, think about this, if you're going on Netflix or you're, looking at feature movies right now, I think that the movie scene is replete with superheroes. I mean, these are, people or godlike people with all these special powers. What's unique about the Bad Love series is that it's a group of teenagers that have known each other since they were knee-high to puddle ducks growing up in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. and they discover a time travel machine and learn how to use it. And so they actually do some amazing and super things, but they're flesh and blood teenagers, like
Yeah.
you and me. And so I think that, and in the books, we can talk about this at some point, have soundtracks of music from the 60s and 70s, which really makes them unique and fun. Because I have a music brain. Bubble Butt, the star of the series, music has a music brain. But anyway, all of those things come together, and it ties in World War II history and sci-fi. So
We're going to
it's
cover all of that. There's an awful lot to cover here, Kevin. We're going to cover that because I'm wrapped in what you mentioned the fourth award, the Pre-Royal Paris Silver Screenplay Award, and it's also won the South Florida International Film Festival for Best Original Screenplay for Young Adults. As you mentioned, the LA Film Awards, Best Sci-Fi Screenplay, and a Gold Script Award, Writing Award, this is, for Sci-Fi Adventure from the Depth of Field International Film Festival. I mean, great writing needs to be savored and rewarded, and that's what's said by the pre-royal judges. Great job, Kevin. Kevin Schewe. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the series. Do you know what I'm thinking, Kevin? That maybe part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 of each particular book into series. It'll go forever instead of just 4 movies and they're done. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it would lend itself perfectly to a series. So, several of my patients have told me that my patients, by the way, are all loving the book series because they know me and they're like, oh my God, Dr. Schewe's writing these books. This is, so interesting. And so they come in to see me, and a lot of them are telling me that it reminds them of Stranger Things, which is a huge, successful Netflix series. But Stranger Things is like the kids in the town, they figure out everything that the adults can't figure out because they're not boxed in the way they think about things. And so it's really similar. The Bad Love series, very similar in that regard. But Bad Love doesn't really have monsters. I mean, we have aliens, but these are aliens that are like us in some ways.
Right.
And so, anyway, it could go either way, Mark.
It
right?
could do, yeah. Well, I'll be watching it. I know that. I feel close to it very much so. I mean, I love stuff like that. I mean, at the moment, I think I'm watching Manifest. Finally, another series came out, but I'm into it. I'm big time. You know what? One day they're going to release that we are already talking with aliens because maybe they can help us with cancer and a few other things, right? Here's a nice accolade for you. Grady Harp, Amazon Top 100 reviewer, 5 stars, writes this: skillful writing, both historical and fantastical, a zesty sense of humor and appreciation for pop culture, and the ability to create memorable, entertaining characters. Now, they all combine to make this an immensely impressive novel and experience. Very highly recommended. Gee. So, folks, readers of all ages are going to love Bad Love Medicine, which also contains a soundtrack to guide you on your journey. So, I know you love music, and I think there's a couple I can touch on. Let's have a look here. From the quotes I think I got out of the Reach Out, I'll Be There. There's one. That was the Four Tops, right? Reach Out, I'll Be There. That's one. And there was another one there with Tennessee, okay, Reach Tennessee. Oh, another quote from the book. Then my world turned white as we were transported through white wormhole, 11.5 billion light years back to planet Earth, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. All I know is that my brain had seized on the word midnight as we entered the white hole, and the funniest thing happened next, considering that we were headed squarely into midnight danger. Ooh, I can't wait. And there's the other song thing. Here we go. Remember that song, folks, Wilson Pickett, In the Midnight Hour? I used to love that track. Well, that's also in the thing as well. My eyes were closed, and I had a vivid dream that I was watching my sisters, Kathy and Denise, dancing in front of our family jukebox to sing the song In the Midnight Hour, of course, by Wilson Pickett. How did you choose the tracks, as a matter of interest?
I'm loving this because you're right there, and you know, there's a song for everything, Mark. Literally, there's just not a topic under the sun that there's not a song for. So I did. I grew up in the early 60s so I'm the baby of the family. I have these two older sisters who are popular, and they're pretty and athletic, and anyway, so they would be dancing with their friends in front of our jukebox, and we had every top 10 song 45 rpm on this jukebox. So I was imprinted with this music brain, and I'll be talking to you or anybody, and a topic or something will come up, and a song will pop in my brain, and I call it my music brain. And as I'm writing the Bad Love books, that series where they're being sent back into danger, and they're going through the white hole from Planet Azor back to their home in their neighborhood in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. It's the KGB, this Borya Krovo Puskov, this their arch enemy, he's attacked them at midnight in Bad Love Tigers, and here he is again. His KGB associates are attacking again at midnight, and so Bubble Butt is, all of a sudden he's playing the song in the midnight hour by Wilson Pickett. And so it just adds flavor to the story. I mean, you can sit there today and you can tell, Alexa, play In the Midnight Hour by Wilson Pickett while you're reading a book, and she'll play it right there for you. And so this makes the Bad Love Medicine and the Bad Love book series, it makes it an immersive experience. I mean, it just pulls you in, and it really makes reading a book more like watching a movie.
Yeah, it takes you back in time. It uses another sense. I'm fortunate to be speaking with, he's very busy in his world of being a doctor as well, but Kevin Schewe, great author on these series. I'm wondering, how you first started, but I'll come back on that one. You're a lifelong World War II aficionado as it is. You've spent years researching the topics, included in your books, and including the nuclear physics behind the time and space travel, which makes the story that I think much more immersive, Kevin. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, in the first book, I talk about how time is like a stack of records, and you can literally go back to the particular year in that stack of records, and everything's going to play the same as it did at that time. And so if you really believe in Einstein's theory of relativity, then you, by extension, you have to believe that time travel is actually possible.
Well, yeah, scientists are knocking on the door of that right now. Do you believe this fourth book of yours? Do you think it's a best-selling, do you think it's the best one yet? As the author.
So actually, we all have our favorites, and I'm a little torn between Bad Love Beyond, which immediately precedes this, and Bad Love Medicine, which is the book we're talking about now. But I'll tell you an interesting story about that. My publisher, Janie Jesse with Jan Carroll Publishing. So when I first came out with Bad Love Strikes, I sent it out to about 50 publishing companies. I had 6 publishers accept Bad Love Strikes for publication, which I think is kind of unheard of for a first-time author who's totally unknown. And so, as it turned out, Janie Jesse of Jan Carroll Publishing, she loved Bad Love Strikes. And through my first 3 books, I'm looking for Janie to say, Kevin, I like Bad Love Tigers better than Bad Love Strikes, or I like Bad Love Beyond better than Bad Love Strikes. And she didn't say that, Mark. and then I get to this book, book 4, and I send it to her because it just came out 4 weeks ago. And she calls me and she says, Kevin, this is your best book yet. And she said, this is my new favorite. Bad Love Medicine is my new favorite book.
There you go. There you go.
And so, you know, as the author, it's hard to not be biased, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, as it is, you have a busy and fulfilling career as a radiation oncologist, right? People forget this. Where do you get the time to write all these books? But Bad Love Medicine combines your love of history with science fiction. I mean, what kind of research went into making this book both, historically accurate and scientifically believable? Where do you find the time to do that sort of research?
Yeah, so really you're visiting with a guy that works by day as a cancer specialist and writes by night and on weekends. And so when I'm in the midst of writing, I probably don't sleep as much as I really should, because what I'll get so entranced in the writing that and I do everything, Mark, on a Word document. And so it'll be like my head is bobbing against the keyboard, and all of a sudden I come to and I'm like, oh, I guess I better go to bed now.
Yeah.
And
so that's what happens, right? With a good writer, it's in the flow. You're right there. It's just coming through the top of your head from the universe, and you're just typing away, right? It's just automatically coming out. You can't stop.
There's no question about it. I mean, this book series, Bad Love Medicine, and the books preceding it, I have been inspired to write this series, and I'm really having fun doing it, because it's based on 9 of the characters in the Bad Love Gang are based on people that I grew up with, and I can go back and just mentally have conversations with any of those people. And this is what happens in the book. I'll just take myself back, and we'll have this banter back and forth. And as you know, it's hilarious. I mean, not only are the books historically accurate and medically and accurate, but they're funny. I mean, there's a lot of humorous stuff.
There's a giggle, all right. In fact, I'm going to take another quote from Bad Love Medicine. He once sent Churchill a note with an invitation to see Shaw's opening night performance of the play St. Joan. Well, the playwright enclosed 2 tickets to Winston and joked, one for yourself and one for a friend. If you have one, that is. While expressing sorrow at not being able to attend, Churchill wrote back and asked for tickets for the second night, if there is one. He had an amazing sense of humor, the old Churchill, didn't he? Tell you what. So there we go.
So
now,
he had a win second to none.
Did he ever? Yeah. Well, Winston Churchill, he plays a big part in this book. Tell us more about the research you did to bring his historical giant to life, if you would.
So that's a daunting. That's difficult. And so,
all right, shall I get on with the next one then? Because I got a lot to cover.
No, I want to answer it.
All right. Hurry up. Go on.
There's so many books written about Churchill, and I do have several of those novels which I've read. But trying to make Churchill real. I mean, here we are in the Churchill War Room in central London, and the Bad Love Gang is visiting with Churchill, who's telling them about Adolf Hitler's darkest secret.
Yeah.
That Hitler got a hold of this blue exotic matter and is constructing a time machine of his own, that he's planning to escape the Battle of Berlin and take his evil agenda to the future. And the Bad Love Gang, or time travelers, are the perfect ones to try to thwart this. And so Churchill and the Bad Love Gang are engaging each other. And what I had to do, Mark, and this is the secret to the 2 chapters that really deal with this discussion with Churchill. I read hundreds of Churchill quotes. I immersed myself in all of these quotes that Churchill had was famous for, and it gave me a feel for what it would be like sitting in the room actually interacting with him.
Right.
And so that's my secret for Bad Love Medicine.
Well, there you go. A potential author or an author struggling at the moment, take a leaf out of Kevin's book, all right? The Bad Love Gang is based on real characters, including Kevin Butt Schewe. Who is you? I daren't ask you how the hell you got that name, but anyway, tell us more about these characters and what their real-life counterparts think of being part of the adventures in your book. Any of them say, hey, no you don't, I'll sue you if you do, or are they all excited? I know they're all going to get tickets to the premieres, but...
That's right. We'll make sure that they're sitting in the front row of the Academy Awards.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you got big dreams, man. I know you're quite the entrepreneur, but any other businesses you're involved in, other than the fact you work as a radiation oncologist? Your books have a light-hearted feeling of hope and adventure about them, really. So tell me how you balance the hard, emotional work of your job with your writing career.
Well, they go hand in hand, because if you're that cancer patient sitting across from me as a new consultation, really what's important to you is that you're treated as an individual, because you're the person affected by cancer. And it doesn't matter to you, the patient, so much that 1,000 people were treated in this trial, and the statistics showed that 80% of the people made it into remission, and of those 80%, another 50% were cured. I mean, that kind of stuff just goes right over your head when you're a patient with newly diagnosed cancer. And so what's really important to you is that you feel like you're the only person in the room, and that your problem is front and center, and we are going to deal with it. And this is what we're going to do for you. And this is why we're going to do it. And this is what we can expect. And so my books, and in particular, this book, Mark, is so good. It talks about the importance of the individual. I mean, here is Hannah Lieb. She falls in love with the character in the book, Meatball, and they have a son. And the Bad Love Gang are following these folks in the future, and they find out that Hannah gets breast cancer in her late 40s.
Ah, that's how it comes in. Okay.
And so they want, in book 3, they get, so Hannah Lieb is an Ashkenazi Jew, and she has the BRCA1, BRCA2 gene mutation, which happens in 1 of 40 Ashkenazi Jews. And so her risk of breast cancer is through the ceiling. She gets it young. Anyway, they get the cure. They get the genetic cure, which I believe, even though this is science fiction, this is something we'll have our hands on in the not too distant future. So this is where science fiction predicts what happens in the future. But the gang is focused on rescuing Hannah. And they're going back to stop Hitler, but their real mission is to get this medicine to Hannah.
Right.
And that's how the book even gets the Bad Love Gang is getting this medicine to Hannah, and hence the title, Bad Love Medicine.
Last quote. I'm sorry, go on.
But it's the importance of the individual is a theme that runs through my career and through these books. And then the other thing is hope, because, hope with action is such a strong thing. And to give patients hope is essential to get a good outcome in cancer care. And so you're going to see, you see in this book series how the concept of hope is, interwoven through all of the books.
Well, you've seen enough of it, and you would know through just hands-on personal experience, having the hope and the belief can really do a lot of things. We're coming short now to a close. I'm going to ask you about another comment, or well, a quote actually out of the book. I commented, "The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare," which is what I call Wuhan, has a nice ring to it. We work for the Denver Project, but all of us are members of the Bad Love Gang, and we tend to answer our nicknames. I'm Bubblebutt, or BB. Captain Smith is Bucky. Lieutenant Nelson, or Lieutenant Nelson, is Pumpkin. And Lieutenant Blanchard is Willie. You're all pilots, and here at Bourne for a week of intensive training to fly the Mosquitoes. Although Pumpkin does already have some experience flying the Mossy. Interesting. What is the Mossy?
So the Mossy is the wooden wonder. It's the de Havilland Mosquito, which was a famous twin engine bomber of World War II that the British built. And amazingly, Mark, the plane was built of wood. And it had powerful Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. Whoa. With 1,700 combat horsepower of each engine. And it was the fastest bomber of World War II. It actually had that distinction. And they used it to, the British Royal Air Force really used it to, they would send, it had an oboe radar system, and they would send it in at night, and they would drop flares on the bombing targets so that the British Lancaster bombers could hit the target at night.
At nighttime, yeah.
But there's a lot more in the book about the
well, don't give it all away. Don't give it all away. It's exciting reading, folks. Yeah, otherwise they won't buy it. Come on. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, the sound of that beautiful Spitfire engine. That's what I love. Absolutely love it. Now, you've said that this book, in closing, is a perfect read for teens. Okay. In what way?
Well, because it teaches you history. As I've gotten older, and I hope you'll agree with this or have some experience with this, as we get older, we all have our own history, which is very real to us. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten more and more and more interested in history, because now I realize history actually happened.
Yeah.
And so these books bring it down to earth for teenagers to read and experience history in an entertaining and engaging and immersive way. And so I really want the Bad Love series to land in the hands of teenagers, because I think it will give them more of a love and appreciation for history.
That's a pretty good reason why, because as each generation goes on, Kevin, I mean, look what's going on at the moment. No such thing as the Holocaust, for God's sake. Kids just don't know today. Well, it seems like the story of the Bad Love Gang isn't over yet. You got to have more books up there in that brain of yours, I think. What's next, or would be giving away the farm? Is this one's got to do its job first, right?
Yes. So as you get to the end of Bad Love Medicine, you'll see I always give a tiny glimpse of the future. So I'm planning on a 12-book series.
Okay.
And this is book number 4. And so book number 5 is already entitled Bad Love Rising. And they're going to take some of the secrets that they learned from the German time machine and apply them to the White Hole Project in book number 5, Bad Love Rising. And so I think you'll see that the time machine, the White Hole Project, will no longer be limited just to take the Bad Love Gang back to World War II years, that there will be an ever-expanding possibilities of time travel for the Bad Love Gang.
Well, Kevin, there's nothing like a good book. And I absolutely always enjoy interviewing you. And I wish, well, I know it's going to be successful. You're just a winner, period. You know, this is number 4. We're aiming for 12. Stone the crows. That's another 8 to go, my friend. Good on you.
Yeah.
Folks,
Yeah.
Dr. Kevin Schewe, you like that phrase. I mean, you are a doctor, right? So Dr. Kevin Schewe, Dr. Kevin L. Schewe, with these wonderful series of the Bad Love Gang, and this particular book, right? Bad Love Medicine. So if you've enjoyed the others, you're going to love this one. And then you've got the series. Maybe you see them all lined up on the shelf. Kevin, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Let me just interject one last thing. Go to kevinschewe.com. That's my author's website. And you can hit the buy tab. It'll take you to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. The books are available in paperback, hardcover, Kindle, Nook, and Audible. The first 3 books are on Audible. Bad Love Medicine will be on Audible in the next month or so. And then my Instagram account at Real Kevin Schewe is a hoot. And so my publisher made me do it. And you can get to know me there.
All right. And the site again, Kevin, for people to be able to buy the book, as well as Amazon, I take it, and the other.
Yeah, so kevinschewe.com. So KEVINSCHEWE.com. And you can, it's a fun, you can look at all the the video book trailers are all on the website. Very fun website. And you can hit the buy tab. It'll take you to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And then I was just saying that my Instagram account is really fun, and I would encourage the listeners to follow me at Real Kevin Schewe.
Real Kevin Schewe. All right, there you go. Fabulous. The site to look at, all sorts of things, music tracks as well, and of course Instagram. Kevin, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much, and all the very best in the world with Bad Love Medicine. It's going to be a winner.
Thanks so much, Mark. It's been great to be with you today.